We understand that over 4,000 people have already signed this petition. Also, there's a Facebook page that is actually being run by communities here in Mbombela, saying that they don't want a zoo here in Mpumalanga because this zoo has not followed any procedures. We understand the zoo has already been built, and also there are animals that are already being kept there, but the community here, they're saying that they don't want the zoo to be built here. Let's speak to a couple of the residents in Mbombela that are actually saying that they don't want the zoo to operate in this area. Rika, you are one of the people that are actually been talking a lot about this zoo, saying that you guys don't want the zoo here. Why?
Good morning, guys. I'm a conservationist at heart and a field guide and a ranger, as it's known, out in the world. And I've spent the better part of 25 years educating people about wildlife in wildlife. So this goes against every single policy and procedure that we have in place, whether it comes from MTPA or the legislation or SATSA's, the South African Board of Tourism and Association. They do not want us to promote or touch animals. Animals should not be in cages. Animals should be free. Animals should be having home ranges where they can move. What is really, really, really irritating and frustrating the citizens is we're not being able to get answers. No one is answering us which permits they have. Do they have a exhibitor's permit? Do they have a private collector's permit? Do they have a zoo permit? Do they have a show and tell permit? We need to know what's going on and what is the implications of this going to be. There was absolutely no public participation in this instance. There are animals on site. There are 43 different species on site, which is reported by the owner in a local newspaper, as he said that there was there. And that makes someone like me, a conservationist and a natural lover, it gives me a heartache, because you've spent your whole life looking after these animals and educating the world around you that you don't need to have animals in cages. You can learn from professionals, you can learn from the television, you can learn from the internet. Why are these here? Why is it here? And it just came up all of a sudden. September, an establishment was built and nobody knows why it's there. The community started asking questions. We got ridiculed. We got told to be silent. Certain high players have been silenced. They're not allowed to speak about it. So we're trying to understand what is the purpose of this. We're getting mixed reports. The endangered species like the wild dogs that are on site, the bat-eared foxes, they shouldn't be in cages. We should have a trace. Where did they come from? How did they get here? Why do our vets not know how they got here? Our wildlife vets have no idea. So we're trying to answer all of these questions, and we're getting answers in various different directions. MTPA are doing due diligence, and they've actually issued a fine, and they're also investigating the point as to why these animals were already on site before a permit was issued. What is the point?
Okay, Rika, speaking to Rika, they're speaking to us. Thank you so much, Rika. Let's just bring in Billy. Billy, also, you're one of the people that are actually saying that you don't want this zoo here. Why?
Morning. Yeah, ethically, it's just wrong. It's the same as putting a child in a cage and having people come and poke and look and educate. And the thing is, as well, we don't need zoos to educate people. We are so close to the Kruger Park. I mean, why would you want to go and see a caged animal if you can go to the Kruger Park and get a proper education? I mean, there's Google, there's books. You can ask any child what they know about an animal. They're not going to tell you they learned it at a zoo. I mean, we've got the information. And the way these people have been operating has just not been right. I was there 2 months ago, and they did the story for the local newspaper the other day, and the cages are a bit bigger. But when I was there 2 months ago, the cages were small. There was no shade, the cages were dirty, and the only reason they made those cages bigger was because we started speaking up about it. And I was there 4 times. So it's just not right.
Okay, that's Billy talking to us also about this zoo that is actually being built here. Blaine, I'll just read you quickly the statement that we received from the Mpumalanga Tourism and Park agencies. They're actually telling us that they are currently investigating the animals being led to this area. I'll just read that in part for you quickly. The MTPA has received application for the Pumbani Wildlife Park, which is currently being processed by the Permit Evaluation Committee. There is currently an investigation onto the introduction of game onto the farm without permit before the application was processed and finalized by MTPA. So MTPA also is saying that they are investigating animals and why animals have been brought to that sanctuary and that park rather without any permits. We'll be speaking to the owners and the owner's lawyer later on this afternoon to just get that side of the story.
All right, let's take a look at what the weather has in store.